miss your vanilla ice.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know, I was really kind of hoping for a little more like Ice Baby.
Or some MC Hammer.
MC Hammer, just something kind of mid-'90s, maybe early '90s would have been fine. So we are back out here at the Christian Village, and we have a special guest, Miss Kara Barr. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. You are the new communications liaison?
Liaison.
Community liaison.
Yeah, is that, what do you do as your new title states?
Basically, I'm the director of admissions for the skilled nursing side of the Christian Village. I also do a lot of community relations, community outreach type things, just to kind of get our name out there and let everybody know what we have to offer. Okay, now you have a new position here, but there's also more new administration here? Or? Yes. We just recently this week hired, she just started, Jo Hilliard. She actually worked with us several years ago in our corporate office. And then most recently, she was the administrator at Von der Leith in Mount Pulaski. So she has a really good reputation. We're looking forward to working with her.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. What's your background here in this community?
I live in Beeson. I have a 6-year-old, Dylan. Spend most of my time with him. I've lived in Logan County all my life. Most recently, I worked at the Courier, did
what do you do there?
Sales for them.
All right.
I was advertising coordinator for them. And then prior to that, I worked for Verizon Wireless as their manager.
So people would probably know you a little bit by those two occupations.
Yeah.
How do people need to get a hold of you, and who do you want to get a hold of you to talk to you about the jobs here and whatnot?
Really anybody that is interested in bringing their family member here, that's who comes to see me. They're more than welcome to just stop in right here. It's 1507 7th Street, or they can just call us.
Okay.
732-2189 is our main line.
How is the job going, the transition out of sales from the Courier?
You know, there's still a lot of marketing involved in it, so the sales background that I have kind of helps me along with that, and it gave me a lot of different connections that are necessary in this position. But I love it. I've never felt so comfortable in a job before, so I'm looking forward to working with everybody here and the families.
And what's your take on the San Francisco against Baltimore game?
You would ask that.
San Francisco, Baltimore.
Yeah.
Are you at the Super Bowl already?
Green Bay, San Francisco, I should say. Well, I thought Green Bay would be in our wheelhouse, and then I'd throw in Baltimore right after it. Kara, thank you very much for stopping out.
Thank you.
Anything big happening around here that you want everybody to know about?
Not at the moment. We're just really excited about our new administrator starting. I think it's going to be a good change for us.
Okay, very nice. Well, there you have it, the new communication or community liaison.
There you go.
It takes me like 7 times to get it right.
That's a weird word. It's
to be honest, it's just
it sounds important.
It does sound. It sounds very important. Obviously, you must be with that kind of title. Thank you for coming out and spending some time with us. We are going to take another short break out here at the Christian Village, and when we come back, we will touch on San Francisco against. Let's go Green Bay.
Let's go Green Bay today.
Okay. All right.
Yo, VIP. Let's kick it.
Nice.
I still got all the old moves.
You did. That was pretty good. You're going to be sore tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Big game today. Illinois starting at 1:15 against Wisconsin. What do you think?
Well, I don't know. Illinois is just one of those teams you don't know what they're going to do. You know, you go to Purdue and lose, which is a tough environment to play in.
Tough environment, yeah. Well, the whole Big Ten this year, man. I don't care if you're at home or if you're away. You got some tough competition. Well, you're talking Wisconsin's one of the easier games on the schedule right now.
Well, then you come home and you blow out Ohio State by 19, and then you lose a tough one the other night to Minnesota, which, man, they have a good squad.
They have a good squad, young squad too, man. Yeah, absolutely.
The Big Ten's brutal. It's a tough conference, and,
they can definitely beat you up. Brendan Paul this week was named for Wooden Award for mid-season. So, or he's at least on the list, I should say. He wasn't actually in there. But Illini's been playing tough, against Minnesota the other day. Tough loss, but they got rebound. They got Wisconsin today, which is never – even though Wisconsin may be one of the easier names on the schedule in the Big Ten, that's never an easy win. I mean, this isn't like Minnesota a couple years ago. I mean, this is Wisconsin basketball.
Yeah,
so.
It's not going to get any easier, and it's the Big Ten. It's one of the premier conferences in basketball, and you look down through the standings and the rankings, and you see several Big Ten teams in the top 25. So
yeah, and that'll be on the Big Ten Network. Let's see, right after that, then you jump into Northwestern, then Nebraska. Okay, that doesn't sound horrible, but then you got Michigan State, Wisconsin again, Indiana, Minnesota. I mean, you're going through a gauntlet there.
Yeah,
man.
they're going to have their hands full, and but I like what John Gross is doing. They're playing for him, and
absolutely. They look like they have a little bit more knowledge of what they're doing. You're starting to see a little bit more of the inside game, which is nice, and you can tell I think that's what he's going to want to do more long term.
Right.
They are still very reliant on the outside shot, and sometimes they get kind of in between. It seems like sometimes they get caught wanting to shoot outside. If they're cold now, they're kind of wanting to drive, but they're not going all out on the drive. So
right.
They're kind of in between there. And
if they get in any foul trouble, we're not real big down low. We got Griffin and Iwu, I think it is, and we got in foul trouble the other night, I think, against Minnesota, and it just kind of, it eliminates what your game plan was, and it eliminates what you want to do or can do, because they're not real deep on the bench.
You can see though how later on in the year, as they keep jumping, because you do see them still taking steps. Tracy Abrams taking some nice steps. Where is DJ Richardson gone? He's kind of been lost the last few weeks. But as they get closer to tournament time, man, they could be a scary team to play.
Yeah, you want a lot of people say you want to get that lower seed, like what is it, like 10 or 11?
Yeah, get somewhere in there.
There, but they're going to have a higher seed than that if they keep doing what they're doing.
I mean, they're still in the top 25.
So I don't know. That can change pretty quick just looking at that schedule.
Well, yeah, that's a good point. You get about 3 losses,
you never know.
All of a sudden you're out. Yeah.
So they'll be in the tournament, but just that's right around the corner. It's already mid-January. Baseball's going to be starting here in a month for some people, not the Cubs.
Yeah.
I mean, just getting warm. It feels like baseball season out there today and yesterday.
Well, yeah, I think till maybe a little bit later this evening. As I've been checking the weather report. Speaking of getting a little chillier, it's going to turn football weather here pretty shortly. You got Green Bay going up against San Francisco today, and also Baltimore at Denver today. A couple big matchups in the NFL. What's your take on Green Bay and San Fran?
Well, I like Green Bay. They're going out to San Fran, so it's not going to be the Green Bay cold temperature. So I really do like Green Bay to win that game outright. I think the spread is about 3. I think we said
3 towards San Fran.
They're going to win by I think a touchdown.
I think you're crazy. I think those swirling winds are going to mess with them. The only way Green Bay can pull this one off is if they get an early lead. If they do not get that early lead, San Fran's going to run it down their throat and not stop running it down their throat. They don't have any way to defend the run. If they don't have a lead, San Francisco can continue to run, and I think they'll pull it off in San Fran with the wind gusting. San Fran moving on.
Well, they got a rookie quarterback, Kaepernick. I mean, he's been playing well the past several games, but playoffs, that's a whole different atmosphere. And everybody seems to step it up a little bit. Green Bay just annihilated Minnesota last week. They were without Ponder, so Webb stepped in, and he can't throw the ball, but he can run the ball, and Green Bay was able to contain him. So I see him doing a little bit of the same with Kaepernick. Keep him in the pocket. You don't want to get him outside because he can run.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
And he's a better passer than Webb. He's not a bad passer, but this is only his maybe 5th or 6th start. He took over for Alex Smith when he went out with a concussion. So I think Green Bay's going to win. They're just the I don't know.
You're
just,
liking that, huh?
I do. And I'm a Bears fan. I don't want Green Bay to win. So if they lose, it's not going to hurt my feelings. But I just think they're the better team because San Francisco beat them the first game of the year.
Well, and on my side, to be honest, if I had to pick right now, I probably would look a little stronger at Green Bay, like you said. But at the beginning of the year, I did throw out there to the listeners here, San Francisco and Denver.
You did pick
so
that.
I can't go against that. So San Francisco is going to win this game decisively.
Well, either way, it doesn't matter to me. But, it's going to be a good game. And is that the early game? Is that 3 o'clock?
I believe
game?
that's the 3 o'clock
and then
game. Yeah.
Denver
against Baltimore.
Tonight.
Yeah, which is another big matchup. Again, with Denver, they're not so much reliant because they're such a balanced team, and they have probably one of the top. I think it's top 3 defenses in the NFL. So they don't have to get that early lead. And with Peyton Manning there, if it's close, you hope the ball's not in his hand.
And who would have thought Peyton Manning's doing what he's doing this year after sitting out a whole season with neck surgery and coming back like that? I would never in a million years guess that he would have had the season that he's having. And people are talking MVP for him.
Well, not to slap myself on the back. Well, okay.
Go ahead.
But I did see it.
Did you?
I mean, that's why I went there. I said at the beginning of the year, it's going to take Peyton Manning a few weeks to get acclimated, but you're going to see an offense that's absolutely unbelievable passing, and he distributes that ball just like he did in Indianapolis, and possibly even better because he has the ball more often because that defense gets him off the field like that. So
and, he don't have any really big name receivers. No. He's got Eric Decker, Denarius Thomas, and that's really all I know. I don't even know who their tight end is.
The best part about it is it doesn't matter.
Right.
He just as long as they get themselves in the right position, he gets them the ball.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing to watch. I mean, I've argued this for years. Peyton Manning, in my opinion, and like I said, this is an opinion, but in my opinion, he is the best quarterback I've ever seen play the game. There's other very good ones. There's, you got the Brett Favres and the John Elways and Dan Marino, which Dan Marino was unbelievable too. But Peyton Manning just seems like he's all of that and the coach.
Yeah,
so,
he calls his own plays. They go to that no huddle, and he's barking things out, and it's just he's amazing. And
now on the other side of the ball with Baltimore, you still have Ray Lewis, who is, here's another one, arguably one of the best middle linebackers to ever play the game.
Yeah,
I mean, that guy, reckless abandon. I seen him tackle a door one time on a sports science show and scared me out of my seat. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I wouldn't. He's a bad man. But
boy,
their adrenaline rush was last week.
Yeah.
His last game ever playing in Baltimore because he is retiring.
Yep.
So I think they're kind of on a little downslide right now. They're going to go over to Denver, and I see Denver winning this game.
Well, I think it's going to be real tough for, especially if Denver gets any kind of a lead. Flacco, he likes to pass with a lead because that gives him a few options. You let Ray Rice run. Well, Denver's real stout against the run, and they're even better against the pass.
Well, Baltimore can get it down the field with Anquan Bolden and Torrey Smith. Both Bolden, a bigger receiver, physical receiver. Smith can just fly down the field. So I don't know. I think Denver will win it pretty easily, but it all depends on Flacco. Ray Rice, he had a decent game last year, and he was fumbled. He fumbled the ball a couple times last week, which kind of put Baltimore in a kind of a bad situation. But I don't know. They're going out to Denver. I'm sure there's probably 8 foot of snow out there and probably cold.
Yeah.
Usually is, but
I was talking to a buddy online last night. They were talking about how much snow they were getting in Colorado. So, and then tomorrow we've got Texas against New England and Seattle against Atlanta Falcons.
Texas at New England. New England, obviously, with Tom Brady, and at the beginning of the season, New England just didn't look. Didn't look very good. But then Bill Belichick is Bill Belichick, and he gets them
One of the big victories this year against any team was against Texas, and it was just a landslide. I mean, it wasn't pretty at all. So we'll see how that plays out. A lot of people like New England, such as yourself. Right. I'm going to flip the coin. I'm going to go with Texas just because, it's hard to beat a team after you whooped them. Especially in the playoffs, just because whenever that happens, it almost always plays out that the other team flips a coin on you, and all of a sudden they're playing completely different football. And we'll see. That's not always the case. It just seems like with these teams that are such big favorites, because I think New England's favored by more than a touchdown.
I think it's 8.5, but and on the other hand, Schaub's not playing real well. I can see him throwing about 3 picks today.
And on the road, he is that way. Right. He does like to give it up. So
it's Andre Johnson. He's been kind of lost in the mix past couple weeks. They haven't been playing good football the past 3 or 4 weeks.
If I could say, I really just want the game over with, so whoever the winner is can play my Denver team.
Right. You want Denver, San Francisco. But then you're talking about that Atlanta and that Seahawks game.
Yeah.
Flip a coin, because I don't even know how to call that.
Boy.
Seattle lost their best pass rusher in Clemens, so that's a big loss. And then,
but they still have those corners.
You still got to deal with those monster corners, very physical corners that will bump and run. Play up on the line and bump you, take you off your pass route. And then you got Russell Wilson. He's just another rookie quarterback that's been amazing this year. He's got a passing rating of 116 passing rating.
Unbelievable.
As in the past, I think 8 or 9 games, and but they're not a very good road team.
Mm-hmm.
That's you split that in half, and you compare that to his rating away games and home games, and it's way out of whack. But that's a tough game. Matty Ryan.
Oh yeah.
He can light it up with his receivers, Julio Jones and Roddy White.
Big tight end.
And Gonzalez. And he's never won a playoff game. Did you know that?
I did know that.
And it's amazing. He's been in the league for 35 years?
Yeah, arguably one of the best receiving tight ends.
And he was at Kansas City for many of those years, so that tells you right there why he's never been in a playoff game.
Didn't get to too many, did he? Yeah, that's kind of their downfall.
But that's a tough game right there. I just don't know, because you don't know what Seattle team's going to show up, and you don't know what I don't know. It's all speculation and guessing, but that's probably one of the tougher games to pick this week.
So moving forward right now, you like Green Bay. I'm going to say probably Seattle. You probably like Green Bay moving on then.
I like Green Bay are we talking Super Bowl here?
You're putting them in the Super Bowl.
Well,
there.
I got Green Bay and Denver.
All right. That's a good shootout there. Two future Hall of Famers right there.
Yeah.
Big difference between good quarterbacks and Hall of Fame quarterbacks, and you'd get to see it right there. That'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah, and you don't even know how much that hurts me to say Green Bay in the Super Bowl.
It's all right. They lose.
Right. So I think they're going to be there, but if they lose, hey, that's good too. But, because I was a Green Bay fan 3 weeks ago when they're playing Minnesota.
Yeah.
And they couldn't even get the job done there. So that just makes me want to, I guess, hate them more.
Well, I think Green Bay's actually, in a way, kind of struggled the last couple of weeks. And moving in against San Fran, at San Fran, that's the reason I kind of give the San Fran a little step. But you never know, man. Clay Matthews could run wild, and Aaron Rodgers could be Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers
he
is
doesn't
Aaron
have to be anybody else. He gets sacked more than anybody else in the NFL and still puts up huge numbers. So we're going to wrap it up out here at the Christian Village. Cutting it just a minute or so short here. So thanks, everybody. Hopefully we come back in about 2 weeks with some big victories for the Rail Splitters and move on from there. Thanks, man.
No problem. Thanks for having me in. It's been fun.
Have a good week. Good day.